writers and all artists, if they are praised to the hilt in their lifetimes, once they die, they're inevitably going to have where they're going to go
Yeah.
fast. People are going to be like, oh, the hell with him. Then 50 or 100 years go by and someone says, let's take a look at him. Now, if the person is really good, they'll rise back up. If not, they'll stay where they are. And the reverse is true, too. Sometimes you've had people, Emily Dickinson is a great example. Unknown in her lifetime, published, I think, one poem. Then she was published, and her work was Baudelairized. It was, made safe for people to read. Then she became well known as writing this very beautiful flowery verse. Then they published the real versions of her poems, which feminists and people who were into poetry like, and she's been elevated to the point of Walt Whitman. Now, I think she's way overrated. In this interview I did a couple of weeks ago, with this English kid, I said Elizabeth Barrett Browning is a better female writer. She wrote a whole novel in verse, which is an outstanding book. A novel in verse that's a feminist novel in verse, written I think in 1848 or 47, called Aurora Leigh. This is way ahead of its time. It's far beyond anything that what's her name could have done, Emily Dickinson. And yet, because Emily Dickinson is quote unquote the Eve of American poetry, Walt Whitman, at least for modernist poetry, Whitman and Dickinson are the Adam and Eve. They are the mythic founders of modern American poetry, even though they're totally different. And even though Whitman, I think, is far better than Dickinson. But now I think the reputations are coming down.